everybody. Happy Thursday. Brandon has his coffee on the table, so I'm going to have my coffee on the table. We can't do that?
Details, branding.
I thought that we changed the vibes.
We want to be so detail-oriented like Brandon Flowers. Like, if you walk into his house, I'm sure I never have, I don't think there's anything out of line or out of place.
Is that true? Or?
I would just go with that.
Bro, did you make your bid this morning?
That's a no.
That's a no.
That's a no.
You're right.
I was gonna lie too.
Yeah, dang, B, I thought you was detailed, man.
Kinda, sorta.
Well, listen, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Paper Route. I'm Ashley Nicole Moss. This is Brandon Flowers. This is Brandon Marshall. We have reached the end of the week, but it's just the beginning of the week when it comes to week 9 of the NFL season. So we're going to dive into all things NFL talk today. I can't promise there won't be any Cowboys talk. I can't promise there won't be any Aaron Rodgers talk. I hope.
James Harden?
No, we're not talking about James Harden. That's what we're not doing. The Clippers, speaking of James Harden, quickly though, did you guys catch the game last night? Lakers-Clippers? It was a great game. I actually stayed up to watch it. Went into overtime. No?
I'm going to be honest.
It got past my bedtime.
Right.
I can only hold on but so long.
Yeah. But obviously, if you go on NBA Central, you can watch the game 13 minutes. That's the hack, B.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, there's so many games going on. All you got to do is go on, like, YouTube, NBA Central, and you can watch the full games, like, in 13 minutes. So, watch the game.
That explains a lot of your takes. that explains so much.
Listen, we're in basketball season right now. I would say right now, thus far, all the NBA talk that we've done over the last 2 weeks, we're neck and neck. We're neck and neck.
B, you been on point.
Would you agree? Huh?
You been on point.
Right. She was cooking me last year.
He's been on point with one topic, and it's Brandon. It's James Harden. Like, that doesn't mean anything.
James Harden. We talked about the Warriors.
Which way did we talk about the Warriors?
We talked about the Celtics. We talked about everything. I'm off to a great start. Throughout this NBA season. Ashley absolutely cooked me last year, but I can assure you, Astradamus is not going to win the debates this year when it comes to NBA. You may win a few, but when we look up come June, I will be the king, okay? So let's go.
All right, let's dive into the show, guys. Now, I actually don't have the rundown in front of me. I didn't get. Can somebody please send that my way? But I'm going to go ahead and just freestyle it until I can get that in front of me. Thank you. Perfect. All right, perfect. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some headlines around the league. B-Flow, I'm going to start with you. What you got?
Is Tua the biggest threat to Mahomes of taking the throne?
Oh, that's what you want to do?
That's what we doing?
Yeah, that's what we doing.
Okay.
I want to know. We got to dive in.
All right. Well, what I got is, actually, Brandon, I'm going to let you go first. Let's do it that way.
So you didn't want to talk about this yesterday. You know, the Jets.
If it's Aaron Rodgers,
but we're not
getting
going to do
off the set.
But did you guys hear the news? News always breaks after deadlines. This team was going to do that. This team was thinking about doing that. The Jets. So it came out the Jets was trying to get this young man and this young man, right? Or either or, Mike Evans and Davante Adams, which tells us that they're fighting. They're fighting for the Super Bowl still. And everybody's debating, why are they doing that? It's over. They're done. Okay, well, we will discuss.
All right, and coming up this weekend is probably one of the biggest games. It's probably one of, if not the biggest game of the weekend, and that is the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles will face off in Philly for the America's Game of the Week. So my headline is, will Dak sink or swim in Philly? We shall see. Da-da-da-da. But diving into news of the day, we're going to go ahead and talk some Jets, Jets. Now, it is being reported that the Jets tried to get Davante Adams. Is that correct? And Mike Evans. Listen to this. All right, so many people thought that the Jets season was over once Aaron Rodgers went down, but thanks mostly to the Jets defense, they've been able to stay afloat. Right now, they're sitting at, I believe, 4-4. So they're right now at 500. They have won 3 straight. And I'm sorry, sit at 4-3 for the season so far. But now we're hearing via the New York Post that the Jets actually tried to trade for Davante Adams and Mike Evans before the trade deadline on October 31st at 4 p.m. Here's WFAN Brandon Tinnery earlier this week before the trade deadline on the possibility of the Jets going after Davante Adams. Listen to this.
I am Joe Douglas right now. I don't care how crazy this sounds. I'm already talking to the Raiders. You can have my first-round pick. I want Davante Adams. All in. Go for it.
See, I think that's a mistake for the Jets. I'm not saying you can't upgrade, and I'm not even saying that I wouldn't go after Davante Adams, but I don't really believe Davante Adams makes the Jets a Super Bowl contender. I think their issue is the quarterback.
All right, guys, listen. Now, obviously, we now know October 31st has come and gone. The trade deadline has come and gone. Mike Evans remains in Tampa. And Davante Adams, much to probably his own disdain, remains in Las Vegas with the Raiders. Guys, I mean, this would have been... Now, granted, Zach Wilson still would have been the quarterback, but this would have been huge had they gotten not one, but two of these guys.
Right.
Even one of these guys would have made a substantial difference, but now we know that neither one of them are in game green. What do we make of this?
Well, at first, I think they were targeting just one of the guys. You don't bring in Davante and Mike Evans. I don't think so. That would have been legendary if they did it.
Like the
it
Avengers.
Could absolutely. Well, I don't think it'll work because you have Allen also there that Aaron brought in from Green Bay.
Allen Lazard.
So you have Allen Lazard and you also have
Garrett
Wilson, right? So I believe, and I think we all believe that they are probably targeting one. It makes sense. Halfway through our career, because we came in that same era, things shifted. Back in the day, it was like, oh, you have that number one receiver, but then it was really like two guys. You need two guys. Halfway through our era, bro, things shifted. Was like, yo, you got to have three, right? It was so easy for you guys to take out the number one and number two guys. So this makes sense to me when you think about how this team is built. Aaron Rodgers took a huge pay cut to be able to go make these moves before the trade deadline. Remember what he did? That was massive. Right? Almost a $30 million pay cut, okay? So they're still continuing with the game plan. And the reason why this is important, right, because this whole debate, it's like, should they be making this move? Why does it make sense Aaron Rodgers isn't there? Well, they're still sitting there. Mathematically, they're still in it. They're not even close to being eliminated, okay? Aaron Rodgers is still out there saying that I'm going to come back, or I can come back if we're there, okay? So this makes sense for me. Ray Lewis did it. I will save that. I'm gonna save these next talking point just for Ashley. I'm gonna save this here because if Ashley wants to push back on why this makes sense for the Jets, B, this made sense because they're still mathematically in it, and at the end of the season, they could be in the playoffs.
I agree. Davante Adams would make this team. I think they'll be contenders. Right? Because
even with Zach Wilson as quarterback. No, because I mean, let's be honest. You still a wide receiver's success is dependent on his quarterback. He can't go out there, throw the ball, and catch it himself. Like he needs someone who can accurately pass it to him and also knows. You know, Brandon and I have spoke about it a lot on this show. That unspoken word between a wide receiver and a quarterback. At least the best tandems in the NFL have that telepathy, if you will.
Yeah, I think they still have a chance because Zach Wilson, it's not that he's not accurate, right? It's just he just don't make it. He's just not consistent. Playing, he'll take sacks, he'll turn the ball over here and there. It's not that he can't make completions, right? But if you got a guy like Wilson on one side, Adams on the other side, you can't double both of them because the Jets can run the ball, right? With Cook, or if they got Breece Hall back there, it's like now you're making it tough on the defensive side of the ball, your opposing defense, on how you can attack them. And when you prepare for Aaron Rodgers to come back, who is Aaron Rodgers like rapport with? Like he knows Davante Adams inside out. So it's not even like you're just looking just forward to this year, this postseason, right? Because if Davante Adams would have got traded to them, they would have made the playoffs for sure. Let Kyle Wilson just get a little hot. He don't got to throw for 300 yards, but just don't turn over the ball. Throw for like 230. Like, they'll be okay because their defense can play ball.
That's right.
Their defense going to keep them into any game.
Getting a Davante Adams wasn't going to be cheap if you're going to trade for him. He's a hell of a wide receiver. Some may say the best wide receiver in the NFL or top 5. I think that's a fair gauge to put him in top 5. It would have cost you a hefty penny to go ahead and get him.
For sure.
Do you make that trade? Yes, I hear what you're saying about Aaron Rodgers down the line. I agree with you completely. But in the interim, Zach Wilson is your quarterback.
Yes, sir. See, it makes it easier for the quarterback.
Does that make
Yes.
So you're telling me Davante Adams all of a sudden makes Zach Wilson drastically better?
Yes, let me tell you why, right? And I go to like my situation, right? 17 different quarterbacks. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Kyle Orton, Jay Cutler was super talented. Thigpen, Chad Henne, who else did I play with? Josh McCown. And I would say, and I will humbly say this, playing with them, they had their best years. And you can look at the numbers. And the reason why, I think there was a bulk of my career I was top 5. But what I did extremely well was dominate one-on-one. Okay, so if I was one-on-one backside, like I could win on a slant route, I could win on a go ball, a back shoulder, but I wasn't the fastest, right? Mm-hmm. So when you think about these guys, their bag is deeper than mine's. And so now when you got Zach Wilson, that's mine. Okay,
There's
there you
no
go.
S.
There you go. So now when you're a quarterback and you have guys like this, you can just close your eyes and say, I'm just throwing it up, especially Mike Evans. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to throw it up, and you're going to make the play. Those 50-50 balls turn into 80-20s for them.
In the red zone, too. When you get in the red zone, you got a problem. You're going to let your corners play one-on-one, or you're going to have safety help, and you got a light box, and you have a running game that can put up 7.
And then to add to that, we just talked about it. So you got a Zach Wilson who could be struggling at times. He's young. Maybe he's not even good. Mm-hmm. So now it goes from him going out there, they're doubling Garrett Wilson. They're doubling him, but they're also stacking a box. So I don't even know. Now I got to work my offense. But now when you're doing that, you can just look at matchups. They're doubling him. Now I got Allen here. I got Mike Evans here. What's the best matchup? So now you're just reading matchups. This is what Jalen Hurts is doing. This is how Jalen Hurts is playing so fast. Yes, he's smart. Yes, he's intelligent. IQ is through the roof. We've seen that going back to high school if you really know him. But he's going out there just looking at the numbers. It's counting. 8 in a box. I'm going kill, kill, kill. I'm going to the pass. Now, where's the safety leaning? They're leaning to Smitty. So now I'm going to go to the Black Batman, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown just caught a bomb. He caught 2 in a row. So now they're leaning to him. So now I'm going here. So that's why it makes it easier for a quarterback who may not be good or may be struggling.
And they give him a little confidence, too, because going back to Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, even when A.J. Brown was double and blanketed, I'm going to give him a chance. And he going to come down with it, right? Instead of it's a guy like Allen Lazard, who can't make those tough catches as consistent as those guys do. So I think that trade would have been great for the New York Jets.
And not just for long term, but right here and now. Because that's a great point. I'm glad that you asked that question, Ashley. It's like, well, Zach Wilson, why are you investing so much in Zach Wilson? It makes his job easier, right? And I would hope that Nathaniel Hackett will simplify the offense that way, where it's like, bro, just read the numbers, bro. We got Breece Hall. He can go for 200 any moment. He can pop a 50, 60-yarder just like that any moment.
And evaluate him going forward. Like, if you can't get it done with these two guys, like, bro, you just not the guy, right? Because they're expecting him to sit behind Rodgers this year and then kind of just say, learn from Rodgers. You still our guy. We want to see what you got when he's done. But if he was forced to play and he had those two dudes in there and he still couldn't get it done, then they know they have to move on.
Last point on this. Ashley, I used to be so frustrated, right? Like, people say wide receivers, divas, they're selfish, malcontent. You know where I spent most of my time when I was watching film doing? Looking for matchups for Eric Decker. Right? Not Eddie Roy. I wasn't even in that mindset then. Me and Eddie, we was just a tag team. We had Tony Scheffler, but we had a nice little thing going on there. Alshon Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett. Why? Because you're only as good as the guy on the other side. They're doubling me. They're vicing me when they're in the red zone. I need you, Eric Decker, to get off. I need you to have a big game. Because why? Now they're going to start favoring you. But this is why this is important, right? And this is why the Eagles go out there and get Julio Jones. Bro, now defenses got so sophisticated where now they say, I'm doubling Brandon Marshall, I'm doubling Eric Decker, I'm doubling Smitty, I'm doubling A.J. Brown. That third guy got to be a dog. Yeah. It's almost like the nickel on defense, right? Yeah. That nickel guy, bro, if you him, you can get busy and have a great career for yourself.
Listen, we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk some NFC East
like
quarterbacks.
talking ball.
But
Golly.
before we do that, I want to go ahead and get your guys' opinion on this. About 35 minutes ago, Jake Trotter and Adam Schefter both reported that DeShaun Watson is still, quote, not sure if he'll be able to play Sunday versus Arizona. As you know, DeShaun Watson has been dealing with a rotator cuff. He also returned, I believe, last week, but got injured in that game and is now almost at, it seems like, ground zero again, trying to figure out his situation. So as of right now, the Browns quarterback remains uncertain to play Sunday in Arizona, or against Arizona, rather. I mean, B-Flow, this is a big deal for a multitude of different reasons. I mean, DeShaun Watson, as we know, last season, he missed half the season serving his suspension. Yeah. That was right after he got that massive historic deal of $230 million of guaranteed money. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there, guaranteed money. We've never seen that before for a quarterback. And now this season was supposed to be what the Browns fans were expecting, a return on that investment, and see the talent that is DeShaun Watson when he is at his best. But he's been dealing with injury after injury all year so far, and now another week of uncertainty. I mean, what does this mean?
I mean, it's giving Walker some time to kind of show these coaches, like, I can play ball. I think Stefanski wants to go with Walker. He's like, yo, it's not a hot hand, but it's like a nice little steady, more than a lukewarm hand. Like, we're winning games. Mm-hmm. They're in the race in their division. And you can see they're not too eager to just put DeShaun Watson in there. They like, yo, we rally around Walker right now. And Walker might get another win against Arizona. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they're in a tough spot because they can't do anything and, like, move DeShaun or try to trade him because of the contract. Like, you stuck. Right. That's the thing. Right. But I don't think the Browns tripping at all. I mean, they're worried because of his talent hasn't came on the field yet, mm-hmm. but I think they cool with Walker right now.
Right now, the Browns, I believe, are sitting at 4-3. Brandon, I mean, we had the conversation about this team, rather DeShaun Watson specifically, the contract, the money. You know, I'm on the side of, I think it was a lot too soon, too much too soon. You guys are on the side of, like, you had to go ahead and get him. You had to pay what you needed to pay to get him, mm-hmm. because of what the talent that he showcased in Houston and in college, which I agree, phenomenal quarterback when he's at his best. Mm-hmm. It seems, though, that he has been struggling immensely to get back to even a fraction of that version for one reason or another. If you're the Cleveland Browns, a little bit of buyer's remorse, a little bit of, we jumped the gun on this, we thought he was that version of DeShaun Watson and he may not be that version anymore. Is that going through your mind at all?
If I'm the Cleveland Browns, if I put myself in management and ownership, no.
Okay.
Because anytime we talk about players, whether it's in the NBA or NFL, remember, I always say the same thing. It's like, these guys are supposed to have these conversations before. We're supposed to be communicating. And I'm taking the approach of, it's not about my system, it's about the players, right? So when I go out there and I go get a DeShaun, I'm going to plug him into what he does best, especially this piece, because he is the quarterback. But think about DeShaun when he had his greatest years, when we talk about where he's been and why hasn't he gotten there yet. He was in spread. He was in gun. Mm-hmm. This offense is a extension of Shanahan's offense. Mm-hmm. Stretch, all right, 9, 8, boot, keeper, but we're going to run the ball. This is where Kevin Stefanski comes from. So now you have a lot of success doing it that way. Even with Baker Mayfield, they had success. So I can understand why they stuck to their system. But to me, the fit wasn't there. So at the beginning of this year, you are sticking to that system where the offense runs through Chubb. This was never DeShaun Watson's offense. Now he gets hurt. Remember the play, Steelers, Chubb goes down. So now they're scrambling to find their new identity. But within 2 weeks, DeShaun goes down. So to me, this fit from a philosophy standpoint doesn't work. So for me, I wouldn't be struggling with DeShaun. I would have put him back into a system. But management, like, and I don't put myself in their shoes, because this is how a lot of guys think. We've been in these organizations before. Yeah, they have buyer's remorse because they want to see it right now. They want to win right now. That's why they went out there and they gave them that type of deal, and they're not winning right now. But what I would say is they're in good position. Is to B's point. They're sitting at 4-3, and if you look at their record and you look at they're playing Arizona Cardinals, right? I don't know if Kyler Murray's going to play or not. He's a second-day full participant.
Take it from me. The Arizona Cardinals can beat some good teams. Okay,
Hey, right.
Been there.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Been there. Okay.
They can, but what are you going to get? Josh Dobbs is now in Minnesota. Kyler Murray's been hurt for a year.
Well, I mean, on that topic, though, I mean, to Brandon's point, if you're the Browns, you're having buyer's remorse just because you wanted to potentially because you wanted to see an immediate return on your investment, if you will. But from a football standpoint, is there any concern for either of you that Watson may not be the quarterback that he was in Houston? That time has passed. You know, his time away from the game has affected certain aspects of his game, and the quarterback that the Browns are going to get in the future, whenever he does return, is not going to be 100% the quarterback that he was in Houston, fresh out of Clemson.
See, B mentioned it, right? This isn't his system.
So it's just a system issue.
It can be.
It can be, because every NFL player thrives in his system, right? You can be the best receiver in the world, best running back in the world, but if you're not in your system,
he goes to Tampa, go to Tampa too. He wasn't Revis Allen, but go ahead.
Exactly, like players shine in their system. So this is the biggest problem that I think the Browns have. Chubb might be the best running back in the league.
That's right.
So where do you see your identity as an offense?
Chris Johnson said it yesterday.
Chris Johnson said it yesterday. Chubb is the guy. But where do you see your identity? Stefanski sees their identity going through their running back. And do you take a step back and say, when Chubb's even healthy, is this our system? Are we going to feed Chubbs and this is what we do? Or are we going to say we paid DeShaun, and because we paid him this much money, we want him to go back into being Superman.
That's right.
We're going to spread this out. We're going to go to the gun, and you're going to abandon what your identity is. So it's almost like it's up to the Browns to try to figure out what do they want to be at the end of the day, because that is going to tell all the tale on what DeShaun Watson they go get.
But this is what you would hope would happen. Is when they went out there and made this move and they gave him all this, it's like, yo, let's sit down and let's marry our two philosophies. We've seen Peyton Manning do it when he went to Denver. He brought his system. Adam Gase, who was the offensive coordinator, had to adjust, okay? But then Peyton Manning had to adopt some of what Adam Gase was doing, okay? Whenever you see these quarterbacks and these big offensive coordinators, head coaches coming together, what they're doing is they're sitting down and they're going over, okay, what's your language when you see this front? Or, you know, cover 4 might be cover 8 in some systems. So they go down to the language of these things. What you would hope for is that they had that conversation, because when you think about DeShaun is he's absolutely capable of running that offense. He can thrive in an offense. You mean to tell me DeShaun Watson can't thrive in Kyle Shanahan's offense? Yes, he can. But as a player, you have to be willing to accept that first. Like, okay, coach, so you're asking me to do something different. So now I'm going to show up a little differently. You know, my success is going to look a little different, right? But I'm going to rock with that, right? Did they have that conversation? They did, then it would be easier for DeShaun. But I can see them not having that conversation now. DeShaun is actually bumping heads with his guy. It's like, nah, man, like, why are you calling this? Why aren't you putting me in this situation? So there's friction. And whenever there's friction between a play caller and the offensive coordinator, nothing works. I know you said last, I'm being long-winded here. I went to Lovie Smith, you know, in Chicago. I went to Lovie Smith halfway through, because I'm sitting down with Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler doesn't like Mike Tice, our offensive coordinator. We got Mike Tice is our offensive coordinator. Mike Tice is the run game coordinator, really. We bring Jeremy Bates in, who comes from the Mike Shanahan system, and he is our passing game coordinator. The shit don't marry. We got Matt Forte in the background, right? So what happens, and this is what happened in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. When we run the ball, if I'm doing this 10 times a game, right? This is what I'm doing, handing the ball off. Running back comes, take it. My passing game, my action has to marry that. So now I'm doing this, and now I pull it. Defense, the secondary comes up. Now we got all of these holes in the background. All of that has to work together, right? If it doesn't, then the defense ain't going for none of it. Jay Cutler's unhappy, really quick. Jay Cutler's unhappy.
For the love of God.
Well, this is what we're here for. This is do y'all like talking this football?
Okay, go ahead.
Do they
Go
like this
ahead.
football?
Let's speed it up. Speed the process up a little bit. We got a long show here. Go ahead.
Well, we got a long show, so I can take my time.
Okay.
This is what we're here for.
Go ahead.
Let's go.
You feeling it, right? We talking ball.
Let's go.
You gotta just sit back and watch. Yeah.
I said last point 10 minutes ago, but it's all right. Go ahead.
Okay, so I go to Coach Lovey, and I'm like, Coach, you gotta make a move. Our defense is scoring 3-4 touchdowns a game, bro. No, not sorry. They're scoring 2 to 3 touchdowns a game, like or turning the ball over and scoring. Legendary run through 10 weeks. I said, Coach, you got me, you got Matt Forte. This shit can happen. You got Devin Hester on the other side. But Jay Cutler got to be happy. Brandon, none of these changes, changing coaches in the middle of the season never works. Guess who did it that year? The team that did it that year, they made changes. I think it was I forget where it was. They made the changes. They go on to go to the Super Bowl because they made the move. We sat there and we imploded the second half of the season. I say all that to say this. That quarterback and offensive coordinator relationship, it has to be the closest relationship in the whole organization. If it's not, it's going to radiate through the entire building. And so when we talk about DeShaun Watson and if he's capable, the first thing that we need to look at is his relationship with Kevin Stefanski. If that's solid and that's good, then they'll be okay. If it's not, yeah, they need to have buyer's remorse.
Well done, Brandon. Well done. Well done. Clap it up. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, Ashley likes to rush me at times, but
rush you? I gave you 15 minutes.
Sometimes it takes 15 minutes.
Sometimes it does. Listen, from one quarterback situation to another, make sure you get real close to me when I say, how about them Cowboys?
Okay.
Woo, 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 woo. Listen, the game of the weekend, I think it's safe to say, happens.
Time out. You left your boots at my house. You need to get your boots at my house.
My boots?
Look. She's like, what? House of athlete. Your boots are Cowboys. We're talking about the Cowboys. Oh. Get your damn boots. Like they've been sitting there since Halloween.
You cannot say things like that.
Bro, you know we're on air right now.
Why are my shoes at your house? Because I haven't been there.
And she was like, hold on.
Be all over Twitter. This is just what I need.
I was like, hey, bro, we on air.
I'm also like, how did they get there? Because I didn't bring them there.
Thigh-high boots, too. You know, you got to go back to Halloween, see what Ashley wore for. She was you talk about the Cowboys, you was a cowgirl. And then I'm walking in the studio every day for the last 2 days. I'm like, take your boots.
I was there yesterday and I didn't see them.
I put them right in front of your seat. To take them home. Get your damn boots.
Shoes. Maybe it's just because they're black. Okay. Yeah, House of Athlete is where my boots are. House of Athlete, not House of Marshall. House of Athlete. Just want to make sure I clarify that several times. House of Athlete, a public facility. Our studio away from this studio is where my boots are. Just want to make sure that is clarified. Okay. Moving on. How about them Cowboys? Listen, the game of the weekend, I think it's safe to say, goes down on Sunday afternoon, and that is the NFC East rivalry between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. As we know, Philly is a hostile environment. They make New York fans look like they're from LA. They are no joke out there. It's going to be beautiful football weather. But listen, right now, Philly is a 3-point favorite at home, which essentially means this game could be a toss-up on a neutral field. Now, interesting moment yesterday during the Eagles press conference. Jalen Hurts was actually asked about his injured knee, and listen to what he said.
Jalen, I got to ask. Anything new with the knee? Feel better? Feel worse? Different? Anything? Okay, that's what I thought. Thanks. It's worth a shot.
I hear any of these?
He said it's worth the shot. He said it's worth the shot.
All right, listen, guys. Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys on a roll, looking good. Dak's, got a little pep in his step, got a little swagger in his step, if you will. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles have been playing great football all season. Even though some of the games may have been ugly, they've been fighting a way to win, which is, like we always say, the testament of a really good football team. So I think it's fair to say that right now, at this point of the season, we have two really good football teams that are really feeling themselves, have an identity, going at it, NFC rivalry. Which way are we leaning? You know which way I'm leaning.
Well,
so.
I talked so much in the last block, I feel bad. Ashley made me feel
You know
bad.
which
B,
way
go ahead, B.
I'm leaning to the Cowboys. I think.
Say it.
I think this is gonna be a
I want
legendary.
You to say it first, though. I want you to say. How about that? I want you to.
No, I'm not going into the how about the Cowboys.
I need you to. You gotta.
It won't happen.
Come on.
Cowboys, I'm riding with you. That's the most you're gonna get. But I think Dak is gonna have a legendary performance. Like, this is the game that Cowboys fans, like, they gonna believe in Dak. Right. And this is gonna be the game where they feel, yo, if we get this Dak, we can win it. I see why people picked us to win it. It's gonna be this game right here. Dak has been so efficient these last couple weeks. I think Philly is smart. They will come out trying to double CD and see if he can go to somebody else. But I think Dak is gonna use his feet. I think McCarthy going to rely on the running game, knowing that they're going to play a light box, trying to take CD out the game, because we've seen if CD get busy early, you're not stopping this Cowboys offense, right? So they're going to say we go double CD. We're going to see, are they patient enough and disciplined enough to just run the rock and get us out of this defense? And I think McCarthy will. I think Dak will find Gallup. I think he'll find his tight end. He's going, like I said, he's going to scramble for some big yardage. Like, this is going to be that game where Dak shows everybody, like, yo, this me. I might have some slip-ups. Y'all go judge me hard. I might come out the next 2 games and not play up to this par. But on this big game, big stage, it's going to be a showdown, but Dak going to show what he made of.
I personally think that this game is going to be won on the defensive side. I think that offensively, both offenses have weapons. I think offensively, both quarterbacks are in their stride right now. I think the defense is going to be where this game is won. I think whichever defense can get to that quarterback the most, whichever defense can disrupt the opposing offense the most is going to be the biggest X factor in this game. This is a game that Micah Parsons has to show us. If we're all, when I say us, I mean the non-believers. I'm already a believer. Why he is the guy. Why he has been getting these LT comparisons since he's got into the league. This is the game. This is where you show everybody who is, maybe question mark next to Micah. Is he the best defensive player in the league? Is he this? Are the LT comparisons fair? This is the game where he proves exactly what he's made of. I think this is where, I think defense is where this game is won.
You think it's going to be a low-scoring game?
I don't know if it's going to be low scoring. I just feel like defensively it's going to I have it in the middle of a range game. I don't think it's going to be like a 9-7 type situation. I'm looking at
see 16-20.
Yeah, I can see one of those type of games. I don't think it's going to be a lot of passing. I don't think it's going to be a lot of touchdowns. I think it's going to be one in the trenches, and I think the trenches is all defense.
So I got the Cowboys to win December 10th. Okay, at 8:20 p.m.
The one in Dallas.
Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Here's why. The Dallas Cowboys aren't as comfortable yet in their identity. Have they found their identity? Yes. But I was saying this a little earlier this week. The Eagles been in their skin for 2 years. They know who they are. Because, let's go through it. Management. Who has the edge in management? So management, really, just quickly. Philly, I agree. Ashley?
Yeah.
All right, what about, now let's go to coaching. What about coaching?
Philly.
I would say, I would.
Yeah.
Well, what
Overall,
kind of coaching? Overall or defensive coaching? Because I love me some Dan Quinn.
I would say overall, because that head coach and what they're doing offensively override what the Dallas Cowboys have over the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's defense. I love Dan Quinn and what he's doing there, right? So coaching.
Yeah.
All right, quarterback play. Even?
Even. I say even.
Okay, cool. We can do that. All right, skill.
Even.
I think it's even.
You think it's even?
I think it's even.
That's debatable. Okay, that's even.
Skill
okay.
on what side of the ball?
Okay.
Are you talking offensive skill, defensive skill, overall
offense.
skill?
It's even.
We go offense, but if you go overall, it's probably
the only thing that I will give Philly that I'm concerned about with the Cowboys when it comes to offense is they have a better run game than we do right now. The Cowboys have gotten away from the identity of running the football, which is what has been their identity this my entire fandom as a Cowboys fan. I don't know if it's because Tony Pollard and Deuce Vaughn aren't the same type of tandem that we had with Ezekiel Elliott and his backups, when he was in his prime. but I'm just concerned on having the ball in Dak Prescott's hand for 4 quarters and not having any run game to fall back on. That is why I believe that the game has to be won for Dallas defensively. Because I don't think offensively mistakes are going to happen.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So listen, I'm taking y'all on this journey. Ashley likes, she wants me to go fast, but what I realize about myself and all this self-love and all this spiritual journey that I'm on, it's like, I'm starting to realize who I am. I want to take my time, Ashley. I do not want to rush. So, like, basically where I'm at is this. If you look at management and coaching, which the players can't control, Philly has the edge. But there is a real debate. If you go quarterback, you go what you just talked about, the running game, you go defense, you want to go offensive skill, defensive skill, that this is pretty even. The reason why I'm going with Philly right now, and I said that they have the edge because they've been in their skin a little longer, is because Dallas isn't in a position for me to override the coaching and what management's already done, right? Now, we come December, they could potentially be there. They need to be there. So it's going to be a close game, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys win. I wouldn't. But it's so close that Dak Prescott got to play his best game. Micah Parsons, like you said, he has to play his best game. No, I disagree with you that this isn't where he introduce himself to the world. I think he already done that.
No, there's some people who doubt if he's, top 3, I mean, if you look on NFL Twitter at least. But I think that rivalry games are always when you have the most eyes on you, especially, the NFC East is just one of those divisions where those rivalries, those wins mean everything. And I just think that, you see him in the 49ers game, but I think that, taking down a rival like the Philadelphia Eagles, who have a better record than the Dallas Cowboys do, who have been playing more consistent football than Dallas Cowboys have been. I just think that's a huge statement. I don't think he needs it. I just think it's a huge statement.
You know what I think, B? I think Philly might be a little too cocky coming into this.
Really?
Yeah, because they've been playing well these last couple of weeks, and I see a little cockiness upon it. I just wonder if they feel like, we go out here, we go take care of business. Like, it's almost too much of a cocky, because I guarantee you, Micah Parsons and those boys, like, we still got something to prove. Like, nobody believed that we that.
Energy.
Right? Like, you know how it is. When you coming in there, like, bro, we got something to prove. Like, everybody got to feel us out here.
That's right.
Like, it's a different energy. Philly coming out there like, we home. They going to be playing meek. Like, let's go, let's just ball. It's like a different type of edge that you will have.
But here's my question to you then. Would you say that the Philadelphia Eagles have championship mindset? They're contenders, like
they do.
They do.
They do.
See, I don't think that trait exists in that type of mindset. I don't think it's like the Tom Brady's of the world. They knew every single week that they had the bullseye on their back, and so there was teams every week coming at them. But I just don't think that the good teams, the championship mindsets, get into the cocky zone. It's let me handle my business.
I put that with an asterisk, though, because I think it's players on the Eagles, and Nick Sirianni has it, but I think it's players that have it. I don't think their whole team have it. I think Jalen has it.
And you think Jalen's cocky?
No, I think he has that championship mindset. I think it's only about maybe 5 players on that team that have it.
Do you think the team as a whole is cocky, or there's players that are cocky?
I will say it's players that's cocky. And if they don't show up, this is not going to be the game they're going to win. If they feeling like we just go come out here and roll over the Cowboys, because there are players in key positions that have that little cockiness to them, like I'm telling you, they're going to take it out.
My only pushback on the cocky, and listen, I'm not defending the Eagles, trust me.
You want them to be cocky, don't you?
I want them to come in there and just, completely just screw it up, trust me. But, this is not a team that has been blowing out their competition this entire season for them to even have a cocky mindset. The Commanders game was extremely close until the second half. The Commanders were able to stop the push-tush, which was unheard of for this past few weeks. No one's been able to stop that. The Commanders found a way. They've been winning in games that have been very, very close. So for you to have a cocky mindset just based on your record would be kind of insane, because you're not blowing your opponent out by 50.
But it's not a cockiness thinking they're world beaters. It's a cockiness we'll figure it out. The game gets close, we'll make a play. Don't worry about that. We good. We us. Right? Then it's Cowboys made a play. Oh, they made another play. We can't come back from this now. Because it ain't got too.
But B, don't you think they've already been in that? Think about it. Well, let's go to the Dolphins game. They beat the Well, you might be right because I'm looking at what I was looking for. I'm looking at their schedule.
They're not.
And I'm looking
they're not winning by massive.
Yeah, they're
margins.
not winning by massive. But I'm thinking like, when's the last time they've been in a dogfight?
Right.
Right.
That's
So
what
like
I'm saying.
with a real team they were like Patriots. They beat the Patriots 25-20. That's not a real dogfight. That's the
Patriots
Patriots
dogfights
the
with fights
Vikings.
they should win.
Your point is like they've been in close games and games they should have been blowing out people,
The
but they haven't been
Commanders-
like
But they didn't
punched,
feel that.
They haven't been punched in the
Yeah.
mouth
Right.
yet, and then had to like counterpunch.
Yeah, when they
basically.
push, they
I get
go
what you're
full.
saying.
Like
the
the other team go
Dolphins is
full.
you look at it like you got the Commanders 34-31. Then they beat the Rams, but then you have the Jets. What is it when we say it's a trap game?
Yeah.
That probably was a trap game for them, right? They lose to the Jets. They beat the Dolphins convincingly. The Commanders, they played them twice already. It's another dogfight, but it's in the division. There's a discussion here. Maybe this is the game that really show who the Philadelphia's really is.
Or it shows who the Dallas Cowboys really are. I like how you just jumped over us. You know, because we've been in some dogfights.
And-
We've had to claw our ways to some wins. We've been in some games that were a lot closer than they should have been.
Here's the thing: we can't overreact after this game either or, right? Because these are heavyweights.
Yeah,
You
two
know what I'm saying?
heavyweights.
These are two heavyweights, and so when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, if they were to, this is the game, Ashley. Like even what you're saying with Micah Parsons, like this is the game where it's like, come on, we gotta have it right now because this could be the game that catches fire where you go on that run that you need and you start separating yourself from everyone else. So it could be this game. If you do that, like this is perfect. You're halfway at the halfway point, and now you're getting into that mid-season stride where you feel unstoppable. And what you said yesterday, B, you said, listen, winning is contagious and losing is contagious. So when do you want to hit your stride? When do you want to peak? So it could be, this is going to be a dope.
Let's
Is
go.
this the game of the week?
Let's
This is
go.
America's game of the week. It's my game of the week. Make sure if you are trying to reach me at 4:25 on Sunday, my phone will not be working. So, yeah. And depending on how the game ends, my phone still may not be working. So don't try to call me. I will be zoned in. So we will go ahead and see how that turns out. 4:25, America's Game of the Week. Monday, we will be on the show discussing it. And luckily for me, there are no Eagles fans on this set, so I don't have to make a bet. You know?
Yeah, I can't even rock with the Eagles.
Well, I'm rocking with the Eagles. You can make a bet.
No,
I'm
because
going-
you picked the
No, I'm
Cowboys.
just
You
saying,
can't
but I'm
play
just-
both sides of the middle.
No, we're just talking about this game.
What kind of
You
bet
asked
y'all
me a
want to make?
question.
Yeah, he did say he got the Eagles in this game. You
Yeah,
said you
so I
got the
got the
Cowboys
Eagles
at
in
What
home.
kind of bet
yeah.
y'all want to make? What do you want to make?
Y'all too.
What kind of bet? It's got to be something like good and tangible. Like
Let me think about it. Let me get back to you by
I
the
made
end
you
of the
drink
show.
mayonnaise.
By the
I
end
made
of
the
the show, it
guys
gotta be
wear
good.
Cowboys jerseys when we blew out the Giants. You know,
I want it to be
you got to
good.
sing Taylor Swift.
I want it to be fair.
Okay.
Right, where you feel good about it. So get me to the end of the show.
Got it. All right.
Get me
And
to the
while
end of the show.
Brandon's thinking of that, we're going to go ahead and move on to another quarterback matchup, and that is Geno Smith versus Lamar Jackson. Now, this might be one of the most underrated games of Week 9. We went from the creme de la creme to an underrated matchup. The 5-2 NFC West leading Seattle Seahawks are going to be flying east to face on the 6-2 AFC North leading Baltimore Ravens. And this game is happening in Baltimore. Now, Lamar Jackson, we already know what he brings to the table, but you can't sleep on Geno Smith because, as we already know, they tried to write him off, but he didn't write back. You hear what I'm saying? So, Geno or Lamar, where are you guys leaning towards? I'm going Lamar. The game's in Baltimore. I just feel like
She gonna ask us the question, then she gonna answer.
I have to get mine before y'all go on your tangent. Lamar Jackson is my pick. If the game's in Baltimore, I'm rolling with Lamar. Who you got, B-Flo?
What? No. Why?
I just feel like the Seattle Seahawks, although they're playing incredible football, like I'm not even going to hold you guys. They're a lot better than what I anticipated they were
5-2.
going to be. Yeah, that's impressive. Like, I just think that whenever you're traveling that far, whenever you're in an environment like Baltimore, whenever you're in the domain of a quarterback to the caliber of Lamar Jackson, that's his arena. That's his ballpark. You know, he knows the ins and the outs. I just feel like this is going to go ahead and be their game. But I would not be surprised if it's close. And if it's close, I think the Seattle Seahawks have a chance to take it. That defense is elite. That's a
And they just
legit
added Leonard
defense.
Williams.
Yeah, that's a legit defense. They better.
Big
All
cat.
I know is Baltimore better not keep the game close. If it's close, it can go either way.
Right.
I'm going Lamar. Seahawks got a good defense, man. They right
Top
outside.
five.
Yeah. But Baltimore defense starting to play ball too now. Like Baltimore defense gonna be good, but it's hard to win in Baltimore, right? Like when you go there, you gonna be in for it. The crowd gonna be going.
Oh, my
Their
goodness.
defense gonna be playing.
You're going to have a
Great
guy
crowd.
behind you calling out your entire arrest record.
What?
Go ahead, be finished. and I'll
But
tell you
these
the
are
story.
similar teams, right? They tough. Quarterbacks can get it done. But I got to lean to Lamar. Lamar playing ball right now. You see he's getting in his groove. Like, you can see Lamar, when he gets comfortable and he starts doing Lamar things, like, his play is going to start ascending throughout the rest of the season. So I think Lamar's going to have one of those special games. It's the Seahawks, for some reason, they always – it's either it's not a good week for them or they go keep it close and win it at the end.
That's right. That's right.
They're a team that if they keep it close, you might got to get on the dub.
That's right.
So Lamar is going to have to win this game by 2 scores.
And Jamal Adams has been looking good since, him going down against the Giants in that game. I mean, he just gave that spark the Seattle defense need. Like I said, if I'm the Baltimore Ravens, you want to blow these guys out as quickly as you can.
have to.
You keep it close, that game's going
I
either
think
way.
they will.
It's interesting that you say that because I'm looking at their schedule and their games, their first 6 games here, and they've just been in dogfights. Everything's been close, right? So they're battle tested.
That's
to
them.
Ashley's point. So if it's a close game, you would probably give the edge to the Seattle Seahawks. And me being there with Pete Carroll, like they thrive in that, man. Some people fold, but and it starts with Pete Carroll. When they're in those dogfights, Pete Carroll lights up even more, and it snowballs down to everybody else in the organization. So you don't want that to happen, but I have to go with Lamar Jackson because when you look at this, it's like, they haven't done anything yet to show that they're elite. They have done everything to show that they're a really good team. That's the Seattle Seahawks. The Baltimore Ravens have put things on film to show that they can be elite. They can be a challenger in the AFC. It's in Baltimore. Like B said, it's hard to play in Baltimore. At least for me, it was probably one of my hardest games. Ashley Nicole Moss, oh my goodness. I'm sitting there on the bench. Just imagine right here. Dude sitting here. I don't know who this fan is, but they need to pay this man. He probably do this every week. Brandon. So you block this stuff out as a player. I've never really entertained fans, probably in 13 years or even longer if you include high school and college. Like I've probably entertained fans probably 2 times. Like you blocked that out. But I couldn't be. For the whole game, sitting behind the offensive bench, we got to sit there. I got to talk to Jay Cutler. I got to talk to our offensive coordinator, receiver coach. I got to sit right here. Brandon, tell me what happened in 2003 when you were arrested at the Denny's. What did you do? Trespassing? 3 in the morning? Why are you at Denny's?
Why were you trespassing at Denny's at 3 in the morning?
Brandon, 2004, you were suspended for 2 weeks. Like all of my business like that. I'm like, look, my teammates is hearing this stuff.
I mean, it's public record.
It's public, but some people don't even know this stuff. But then for me, it's like, oh my goodness, like this dude is literally going through my entire rap sheet. It got so bad, B, that I told everybody in the office, I said, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going to go sit down on the defensive side. I cannot have this guy behind me. It was terrible.
Why were you trespassing at a Denny's at 3 a.m.?
So what had happened was this.
Of all the places.
Mike Sims Walker's ass, my roommate, I'm calling him out. Right? No, it wasn't Mike. No, we went out, okay? And there was a situation where it never got physical. We weren't fighting, but the guys, like it was a football team. It was just some regular dudes in Orlando, right? And so it was people getting into it. So now I wasn't even out. Dudes that was out, they called a football team like, yo, we have this situation, like come up here. So us being young and dumb, we all go up there. But then after that, nothing happened. We go to the Denny's. We're sitting in the Denny's and we're just talking about this. We're loud, blah, 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 blah. The manager comes, y'all need to calm down. I'm like, we just talking. What's the problem? Ain't nothing. And so me and the manager get into it. I'm like, man, we just sitting here talking. There's no problem, right? So we're arguing. We're going back and forth. I leave the Denny's. I come back 3 weeks later. This is a true story. I come back 3 weeks later.
To the same Denny's.
To the same Denny's.
Okay.
She calls the cops. Cops come and say, hey, sir, you're trespassing. You're not supposed to be here. I'm like, trespassing? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? She was like, well, weren't you here a couple weeks ago? I was like, yeah, I was here a couple weeks ago. Well, they said they hit you with trespassing. I said, I never was served anything. Nobody told me never to come back. So they took me down. And that was... that guy behind me said, Brandon, what happened? 3 o'clock in the morning. I got hit with trespassing.
Listen, real
what
quick.
that coach say, nothing good happens after 12?
After 12, 11 p.m., whatever it
kinda
was.
early,
Remember
though,
that
man.
commercial? It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? Real quick.
I was in Denny's getting trespassed.
Real quick before we go to break, I mean, Seattle's defense, Baltimore's offense, how are the Seattle DBs and Baltimore wide receivers going to match up? Who has the edge in this game?
I like Seattle. Seattle got long corners that can cover on that edge. The thing is, with Jamal Adams being the forcer coming in, man, and go be knocking heads off coming across that middle. And I still don't feel like they don't let Lamar wing it enough. Like, I'll give Lamar the ball, like, at least 35 times a game. That's how special I feel like he can be on the field. So just for Seattle DBs being long, they love to play press. Like, they go create havoc for these receivers. So I'm giving the edge to the DBs.
Okay. I wanted to pull up here. Ashley, can you do me a favor while I get into this? Can you pull up Odell Beckham Jr. stats?
For this year so far?
Yeah, right. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is having a year, and
Not great so far.
you're talking about Odell. Okay, so this is going to be
touchdowns this year.
Odell Beckham Jr.'s breakout game.
No, sir.
Odell Beckham Jr. may go for 150.
Seattle corners? Like, they got dogs out.
I'm telling you.
162 is where he's at right now.
So
that's in 6 games.
What's his best game?
His best game was against the Lions, 49 yards, average about 10 yards.
49 yards? That's one play for OBJ. Did you see when they were up 30, the last game when they're up 30-something, 20-something points? He up there pissed off walking the sideline. Lamar Jackson, too, he feeling it. They already winning. Lamar Jackson was throwing the ball like every play in the fourth quarter when the game was over. That tells me as a receiver, because I've been there before, everybody in the building know, like, we got to get him going. Not because for his ego, yes, but, we got to make sure he's happy. But also, if we can get him going, you know how much more dangerous we would be come postseason. Now, granted, he's been hurt and injured, okay, so he hasn't been there, but they have to get him going if they want to go through KC, if they want to go through the Bengals. So I'm telling you, the Baltimore Ravens receivers have the edge, and Odell Beckham Jr. is going to lead the way, and Zay Flowers is the number one guy.
It's no edge. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
It's no edge. With Woolen and Witherspoon, like, they might have the top tandem, like, in the league, bro.
True.
So they go smother these receivers. Not even going to be close.
Well, we shall see. Week 9, it goes down. Sunday, it goes down. We'll have more quarterback matchups and predictions for you guys right after this break, so don't move.
I got some crazy stories in KC, like one, which is crazy. So, yeah, man.
Go ahead, give us it. You can say it.
All of my Chiefs brothers will enjoy this. So one time we was playing in Cincinnati, right? And you will understand this. So you know how, like, the team leaves on Saturday, right? The day before the game. So I flew to Phoenix on a Friday. Yeah, right?
Do what?
So I took it upon myself, me and a group of my friends, we flew to Phoenix for the Lil Baby concert, man. I'm like, okay, cool. PJ. We flew to Phoenix, man. I'm like, I'm gonna be back in time. You feel me? Yada, yada, yada. So we fly to Phoenix. Boom. We having a good time at the concert. It's time to go. So as we about to step on the plane, on the way back, the dude's like, hey, we probably won't be able to leave at like 7 a.m. and y'all won't make it back to KC to about, 11:30.
The buses leave at 12.
I'm like, say what now? He's like, yeah, man, something wrong with the plane. Yeah, man, something wrong with the plane. And so I'm like, hold on, bro. you mean to tell me something wrong with this plane after the money I just paid y'all to fly me here and get me back on time? He's like, yeah. So it took me literally an hour to call Coach Reed because I was so scared, bro. I was so scared, bro. It's like, bro, Coach Reed, bro, he a different beast, bro. So I called Coach, right? Coach, I'm like, Coach. I'm laughing with Coach. I'm like, Coach, what's up? He like, what's up, Cheetah? I'm like, Coach, man, like, you know, shit, I'm in Phoenix. He like, Phoenix? What you doing in Phoenix? I'm like, shit, hey. Little baby concert, man, chilling. He's like, all right, as long as you make it back in time. I'm like, about that, Coach. I'm like, Coach, man, I see you in Cincinnati, though. He was like, Cincinnati? How you gonna see me in Cincinnati? We got walk through in the morning, then we got to get on the plane and go. I'm like, Coach, like, I'm in Phoenix, I ain't gonna make it back. That's what I'm trying to say. And I put the phone down so I wouldn't hear what he was saying, because I knew he was finna get on my head. But then I picked it back up. He was like, Reek, bro, like, you can't be doing that during the season. Like, I need you locked in. I'm like, Coach, I know, bro, but you know how I am. Like, I was a Dennis Rodman fan. Dennis Rodman went to Vegas to hang with Carmen Electra. I'm trying to be that, Coach.
You ain't say that.
Nah, I ain't say all that. But I was like, Coach, man, look, I'm sorry. He was like, Reek, I got to find you, but make sure you meet us in Cincinnati. So I ended up telling the PJ people to just drop me off in Cincinnati.
Was it worth it?
Oh, man, it was worth it. It was great. Come on. It's always worth it, man. It's always worth it. I had a good time.
Yeah. Came up from the mud, it's like I walk around with a shoe stain. Uncle gave me fire when we kicked it, he was Luke Kane. Remember we was struggling for it, didn't needed loose change. Now the money never stopped, and I feel like I'm Bruce Wayne.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Ashley Nicole Moss here. Brandon Marshall. We lost B-Flow. I think he got in his feelings when you called out the DBs for Seattle. I think he walked off set.
He walked off set. He's about to walk back on. I think he
Did
went
you
to the
wash your
bathroom.
hands,
Yes, that's what I said. Yes, he ain't
Brandon
washed his
Marshall.
hands.
Did you wash your hands?
I'm not Brandon Marshall. I promise you, I wash
Let me
my
see.
hands.
Okay, I see some water.
You can see water all on my sleeve.
Yes, he washed. He
Damn,
took his time.
you wash your hands really
He
good.
took his time to wash his hands.
B gave me some good, like, green juice, man. So, you know.
Oh, okay.
It came up out me. Yeah,
Which
it
way,
just
though?
flowed throughout me, huh?
Which way? If green juice, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, he said it came up out. Like, I mean.
Yeah, your mind just go there, huh?
I'm just saying, green make you do, you know, whatever.
I think he just meant, like, the fluid.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, I got it now. Let me ask y'all this question, because we talk about it a lot. Is it okay if I go to the bathroom, right, and just run my hands under the water and not use soap?
But why won't you use, it takes like 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds, bro. It's just a little squirt. That's all you need.
I
That 2
understand
seconds
that.
is not going to
I
affect
understand
anything.
that, but is that okay? I just asked.
It's not okay.
You're not doing anything. That's like my cousins, my male cousins back in the day, like in that weird phase where like teenage boys don't want to shower. Like that weird time
Right.
where it's like, I already showered. Like, go into the shower and just stand under the hot water. Like, you're not cleaning your body, you're just wet.
Right.
You know
I
what I mean?
respect that.
So, yeah.
She touched my hand.
Did you wash your hands?
I don't know.
Every time I drink beer in the morning, I hesitate like,
But
Can I get some hand
did
sanitizer,
you?
please?
you know, listen, I promise you, I swear to you guys on this. When I walk in the bathroom now, like
You think?
I wash my hands. Y'all,
Little-
first I
little
gotta
voice
stop
in
this.
the
I was
bathroom.
saying in between segments. But when I go in the bathroom, every single time now I think about y'all, and I'm like, so wash it, let me be
not
good
weird
here.
at all.
And then also like when I'm traveling too, and I'm rushing, gotta get to baggage claim, all of that, I'm like, yo, I wanna do like a whole collage of videos of showing them I'm washing my
You
hands.
can just use hand sanitizer to do it if you're in the airport.
No, see that's no, I don't
want
agree.
you- I don't
agree with that.
There's
I think that's lazy
hospitals that
using
are
hand
literally-
sanitizer. I think you need to wash your hands.
There's literally hospitals that like use like okay. First and foremost, I like your shirt today.
Thank you so much.
The decapitated teddy bear. That's and also don't think about me and B-Flow
Dope.
when you're in the bathroom.
that is kind of weird,
Kinda,
bro.
It's a little odd.
Just come get your boots out of the house.
How's the athlete? Guys? All right, listen. We're gonna dive into some more. It's gonna be like all over the internet. Just add it to the list of people I'm allegedly like seeing. It's a list. There's Reddit threads about it.
Give me
It's
the
actually-
top five.
it's-
What's the top five?
I
Like-
can't. All I can tell you is I could go win a championship right now. Okay, with all these alleged names of people that
Give
I'm
us
seeing.
5 names that people think.
No, No, you can Google it. It's on the internet. Trust me.
For real?
Oh yeah, there's
Can we get that?
legitimately like blog like threads, like Reddit type threads where like people are dissecting my relationships with people I've never been in relationships with. It's actually very funny.
Is there anything on Reddit that's like, oh, that's true?
Yes. There's between every like 10 lines, there's like one true. So I guess, 10 to 1's not bad.
Right. No, y'all got it hard as women for real, straight up.
Yeah, I blinked at the guy the wrong way, and all of a sudden we're like seeing each other.
Right.
It's like I gotta like do it like this. Matter of fact, all right, kicking things off. We are gonna go ahead and talk about another matchup. This is gonna be a really big game too, and it's happening overseas in Germany. Have you guys been in Germany?
I haven't.
I have. Dusseldorf.
Really? Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. I went to go get they used to call them the Kobe shots. Remember, Kobe was like done. He had no more bounce. And then he went and he was back. He went to Germany, saw Dr. Peter Willing, and it was like these they call it Regenikine. And so, yes, I went over there. And guess who was there when I walked in? It was so interesting. Carmelo Anthony was in there.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what up, bro? Like, he was sitting in the office when I was there.
Very cool.
And I'm like, I'm disappointed because we should have hung out. It's like we're all the way in
y'all
Germany.
all the way there. Y'all might
right,
as
like,
well.
come on, Mello. Come on, bro.
Well, come on you. Why didn't you ask him to hang
I
out?
be texting him. He texts me back every 10 texts.
He's light skinned. That's what we do. That's how we move. All right, listen, we're going to go ahead and continue to look at ahead to the best matchups of Week 9. And like I said, the Miami Dolphins and Kansas City Chiefs will face off in Germany. This is very, very cool. It's part of the NFL's desire to expand the game. We already had the London games. Now we have the Germany games. Now, right now, the 6-2 Dolphins face off against the 6-2 Chiefs, so it's the battle of the 6-2 in the AFC. Now, Tyreek Hill was once a member, as we know, of the Kansas City Chiefs, so he gets to face off against his former team and former head coach, Andy Reid. But the funny thing about this is Andy Reid has a very simple way to describe the cheetah and how to stop him. Listen to this.
I was wondering why you was laughing.
You see any differences in his game now from when you watch him on tape from when he was here?
No, he's pretty good.
He just said he's pretty good.
That's
Any way to stop him? What do you think of Tyreek Hill? It's pretty good. This is cool. You know, going against your former team is always fun. I'm sure Tyreek Hill is giving the Dolphins all the secret sauce to what makes the Kansas City Chiefs go. But I mean, two really good teams. Two teams that have lost some games they should have won, but still dominant in the AFC. Who are you guys leaning towards? Neutral field at that. We're not
right.
no Arrowhead, no Miami Hard Rock Stadium, whatever you want to call it now. Neutral field. It can go either way.
This is the Miami Dolphins moment. You got to show up right now, and so I'm gonna go with Tua. But I want to be clear here. This is not Tua versus Patrick Mahomes, right? Like, Patrick Mahomes is him. So I'm not knocking Patrick Mahomes. But Tua, Tyreek Hill, Waddle, are they going to get Chase Claypool rolling this week that they traded for 3-4 weeks ago? Got him from Chicago. You know, big guy outside. You can do so many things with him. Jalen Ramsey's back. Didn't he just have a pick in his first game back?
He did.
A month, 2 months ahead of schedule. So I'm picking Tua for that reason. And then also, like, this whole Tyreek thing, that was pretty cool. Yeah, Tua.
Interesting.
Tua.
I think I know where you're going, B-Flow.
I gotta go with the Dolphins.
Oh, I thought he was going to pick his boys.
Yeah, I want to. But, you know, with Ramsey there, they might get X-Men back. I just think they're going to smother the receivers on the outside because Patrick Mahomes haven't been able to throw on the outside, right? His bread and butter is Travis Kelce and the run game. And I think Miami is going to try their best to take Kelce away. I think, even though the Chiefs' defense has been playing ball, I think this is going to be Tyreek Hill game. Like, he wants it. Like, he has nothing but respect for Andy Reid in Kansas City because it wasn't no bad blood. He enjoyed his time there. He left and got paid, right? Kansas City couldn't pay him like Miami could, right? So you don't have bad blood. But at the same time, I think he's been circling this game on his calendar.
I mean, you have Patrick Mahomes. He's healthy now. As you know, last game when they lost to the Denver Broncos, he was dealing with the flu. Travis Kelce, as we know, has been dealing with an injury. He's been able to play through it, but you could see that some of his explosiveness has, suffered because of it.
Yeah, but I don't count that stuff.
No, I know, but I'm saying you have a healthy Patrick Mahomes now. They say that, whatever he was feeling is in the past. Travis Kelce just seems to be getting better, they say, every single day. Whatever he's dealing with seems to dwindle little by little. So that tandem of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce is always so dangerous. The Chiefs' defense, I feel like, is a lot better than what we saw of them last year up until the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Still no faith in Kansas City to go ahead and win this one.
No, just because, again, Mahomes, statistically, it has been his worst year, right? He haven't been in sync. He always had a receiver on the outside that can at least get something done. He's still trying to find out who that guy going to be. They dropping passes. You see Rice dropping passes in the end zone. He's trying to find that guy that can just open up the offense even more, just on the outside. He can't find anybody. The Dolphins, they thrive off they lockdown corners playing ball. So I just think this is the matchup they don't want right now because they're still trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure out how they go get these guys outside involved, and this is the wrong game to try to figure that out with. So.
I want to shout out the chat for a moment. Everyone listening on Sirius XM, Faction Talk 103, thank you as well. Shout out to the chat, everyone watching us on YouTube. Belly, I know you keep saying that you wish the game was in Kansas. Kansas City is in Missouri, beloved. It's not in Kansas. So the game wasn't going to be in Kansas regardless, okay?
Hey, I'm right there with you. What's his name?
It's borderline. Missouri 10.
Belly, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Kansas, Missouri, bro.
It's 10 minutes away. It's cool.
It's Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas City, Kansas. But I can see how you can get confused with that. I just want to make sure you know that. Brandon, I mean, we've been talking about the Chiefs being the top of the AFC, some even say the top team in the NFL. The Miami Dolphins if the Miami Dolphins are able to pull this out, are they the new kings of the NFL, the new kings of the AFC?
No.
Oh.
No.
Even though they're both coming in with the same record, and someone's going to have a better record when this game is over.
Well, let me say this. It's not if they do it, it's how they do it. Right? Like, you got to go out there and it got to be a statement. It got to be you beat them by 2-3 scores, which I don't know, has that ever been done to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid since they've been together?
Didn't happen in the Broncos game?
No, the Broncos didn't beat them convincingly. That was a good game.
Well,
they kind of beat them convincingly.
The second time around?
Yeah.
What was the score?
You were out here gassing them up. You don't even know what the score was?
When they say you got to have a short memory in the NFL, I'm on to the next week. This
what
week
do you
ain't.
mean?
This week
I'm
ain't.
pretty sure. Didn't
Really
we go
quick.
over like 2 possessions?
Yeah.
24-9.
That's a blowout.
Dang.
That's why I'm concerned.
Russell Wilson. Y'all keep talking about Russell Wilson being cool. He beat Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid 24-9. Are you kidding me?
No, Brandon. You don't get to do that because you didn't even know what the score was.
Huh?
You didn't even know what the score
But you
was.
reminded me, and it gives me another opportunity to talk about Russell Wilson.
The most winningest quarterback in football.
In 10 years, yeah. Damn, yeah, okay. Again, I think that, it's interesting seeing where Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are right now. They're winning a little differently, and this could be to their benefit in the long run because he's never been able to lean on his defense. So now he has to figure out how to win a little differently. It's like what we talked about with Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, you don't need to go out there to be the MVP to get it done. Just go out there and manage, right, and make the smart moves. Patrick Mahomes is a gunslinger, but he's always been very safe and smart, which is interesting. Like, he wants to make the big play. He thrives in that. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and say, I got to think and don't. No, Patrick Mahomes got to do weird stuff behind the back, no-look trick plays. He do, right? It's like the game isn't fun to him. He's going to be out there. It's like, oh, cool. I don't want to take that. I want the shots. I want to make it look good. So, I think that Tua and the Miami Dolphins have the edge. And if they do it convincingly, then we can have the conversation if they're the kings in the AFC. But they haven't done that yet. Like, you go to Buffalo, Buffalo put up 50 on them.
Yeah, so the Miami Dolphins is what the Buffalo Bills been in the past. They can look great, they can beat great teams, and they can beat them convincingly. But it's just like, they're not going to be up and down, but it's just like they're streaky, right? If you catch them at that right time, they can spank you. And then if you catch them, like, the Patriots can go beat them by, like, 14, I feel, right? So with the Dolphins, it's always going to be, are they hot? Are they cooking? To see what kind of team they is. I don't think they can dethrone the Chiefs, even if they beat them convincingly, but that'll just show you who they are.
Yeah.
They have that identity that they can beat anybody, almost how Buffalo and Kansas City did go to that in the AFC Championship game years ago when it kept going back and forth. Like, that's who Miami can be.
So let me lean into this, right? Because like we're going to have this discussion damn near every week now. Now we're getting into it. We're getting into some real football. Like, the teams are starting to present themselves. This is who we are. Here's our identity. I just think this is the year where every week is going to change, right? I think there's some teams that we can hang our hats on, like, the Kansas City Chiefs, like, they're a really good team.
Yeah.
You got the, who else is out there? The Philadelphia Eagles, they're a really good team. There's a few teams there. I still throw the 49ers up there, but I feel like it's going to change every single week. We talk, my favorite word is my favorite word? Parity.
Parity.
There's more parity in the NFL more now than ever. So I don't know if I'll be able to say at all this season that this is the clear-cut number one team in the NFL. Now, I'll be able to say, like, right now, yes. But, bro, like, this team beats this team, then they flip around, they lose, and then, bro, it's up and down. And that's why when we were talking about it, I got so excited. It's like, the end of the season run and postseason may be the best postseason we've seen in a very long time, maybe ever.
It will be.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit to some other quarterbacks that are coming off of wins. The Chiefs aren't coming off a win. That was a bad segue. Sorry. Moving on to quarterbacks who are coming off of wins. We have Josh Allen and Joe Burrow who are going to be facing off. This is another big game in the AFC. It's all going down in Cincinnati. As we know, the Bengals are coming off a very impressive win against the 49ers, giving them their third straight loss. And the Bills, who have been struggling a little bit, again, one of those teams that have been losing to teams that they should have beaten and winning in teams that maybe was a little bit more of a toss-up. They're coming off a win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As I said, this is an AFC matchup going down in Cincinnati. Interesting enough, Cincy is just a small 2-point favorite at home. So even though they're going to be in the jungle, they're only favorited by 2 points. So, guys, AFC showdown once again. Who you leaning towards, Joe Burrow or Josh Allen?
I mean, I got to go Josh Allen. I put him in my top 5.
Oh, my goodness.
For MVP candidate. Like,
I appreciate your loyalty, except when it comes to Brock Purdy.
I mean, Josh Allen about to start getting hot. You finna see that streaky Buffalo Bills team come beat some tough teams, and they gonna beat Cincinnati convincingly in Cincinnati. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It's just that Buffalo is about to hit their stride. They just made a key trade on the defensive side of the ball, bringing in a corner that can come in and lock it down. Because Leslie Frazier loves to get pressure and loves to lock up on the outside. So they're shoring up their team. They're shoring up their defense. The defense had some holes before. I just think this is the time that Josh Allen knows he got to get it done. Like, he can't keep losing games and keep falling down in the division. He's in the AFC. You can't keep losing games in the AFC. So look for the Bills to go on a little mini run. They have a tough schedule, but Josh Allen going to show you why. I'm telling you why I had him in my top 5.
Well, it's interesting that you said that, they're about to start heating up. Isn't that what Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals just started a couple weeks ago? Like, this is the second year in a row they did this. Start slow, and then they just heat up, and they become the team that we saw in the Super Bowl. Was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Almost 3.
Bro, they look scary these last couple of weeks, man. And so, all right, let me ask you this question, B. You're the general manager, okay? What neighborhood did you grow up in?
Delray.
Delray
Beach.
Delray Cats.
Just go at Rocks.
Delray Rocks. You're the general manager of Delray Rocks.
I'm sorry.
Right now, who are you picking? Josh Allen or Joe Burrow?
You're gonna skip over the fact that his Pop Warner team is the Delray Rocks.
Was that real?
Yeah.
I thought he
they
just
legendary. What
the
you mean?
Rocks.
The Rocks are legendary.
Of all the things that you
legendary.
could have named, you picked a rock, an inanimate object.
But that's what it is, so we're gonna roll with it.
Hard body. Let's go.
Right now, you're the general manager, and you gotta pick Josh Allen or Joe Burrow to lead your organization for the next 5 years.
What's your mascot, a rock? Like, how do you even put that on a helmet? Like,
Right.
I'm just confused. Like, is it a big rock, a big boulder on your helmet? Can you imagine?
Oh,
like,
that's
it's like,
funny.
here come the Liberty City Warriors. And they're like, oh. And it's like, versus the Delray Rocks. So you guys just come out
You say
with
Delray Beach.
Delray Beach Rocks.
No,
like,
it's not the beach. Take the beach out.
Okay,
Delray Rocks. It's hard body.
Liberty City Warriors. Come on.
Ask Sante Samuels and them about the Delray Rocks. They know.
Rocks.
Anybody in South Florida? Ask Ocho. They know.
I covered Pop Warner. I personally, well, I didn't go that far up north, but I never heard of the Delray Rocks. But I swear, if I saw them facing off against the Liberty City Warriors, I'd have been like,
ranked in the nation.
I respect it. Just change the name.
Okay, we good now?
Go ahead, sorry.
All right. You're the general manager of the Delray Beach Rocks.
Okay. Delray Rocks. Can we take out beach? I'm sorry.
Okay, Delray Rocks. Okay, we take out the Actually, who did you? Oh my goodness.
The freaking rocks.
Here, some tissue. You don't even got no more tissue left. It fell.
I appreciate Ashley going in on the rocks.
Right. Oh my goodness. All right, you stay laughing. B, stay with me. Let her do that, because she's going to do that for, when she get like that, she's going to do that for another minute.
I'm with you, bro.
Go ahead.
Josh Allen or Joe Burrow?
I'm going Joe Burrow, because he even kill. He poised.
Okay, all right, that's it.
Josh Allen too sporadic for me.
Okay, but you just picked Josh Allen in this situation.
But that's
Joe
just a
Burrow
game.
is listen, bro.
Go ahead.
They're at the Cardinals. And you said it earlier, Cardinals is a sneaky team. They beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Not a sneaky
They beat them 34-20. They beat the 49ers 30. They beat the Seahawks 17-13. We just talked about the Seahawks. They beat the 49ers 31-17. Joe Burrow, bro, for you to go out there and pick a up and down Josh Allen baffles me when you play 10 years in the NFL at the cornerback position. Like, you seen these guys. You seen the best of the best. You went up against Tom Brady. You went up against Peyton Manning. You went up against Drew Brees, Big Ben, all of those guys, and you can't, between the two, pick the right one?
No, Josh Allen is Big Ben-ish.
Crazy.
He's Brett Favre-ish, where it's like, bro, what are you doing? Who you throwing the ball to?
Right.
Or it's like,
Yeah,
you cooking. You throwing 6 of them things today? Like, I just think that's going to be his time. He know who he is facing. Like, when he faces top quarterbacks, like, he performs. It's just like them random games where it's like, he should dominate and they should win a game, and he's doing all this sporadic stuff. Like, nah, I know who I'm picking. I know who I had in my top 5.
Yeah, but that's just like, it's like you gambling when you do that, because like that's why I asked you the question about the Delray Rocks, right? Stop, Ashley.
I'm not gonna laugh.
Stop. I asked you that question because you're like, yeah, I'm gonna take Joe Burrow. So like in that moment, it's like, this is the for sure bet. I'm gonna take this guy.
Yeah, when you talk about leading my team for years and years, just stability-wise, like, yeah, I'm going Joe Burrow. Because
Okay.
I don't like up and down. I like even kill. So that's the only reason why, just for me, I go with Burrow.
See, okay, you're similar to me. I always get in trouble too, because like a lot of times I go up my gut and I go with the feel. I say, I'm a field guy. I can see where's the team, where's the psyche of the team. All right, that's gonna get you in trouble. Like, you got me in trouble a couple times. It's gonna get you in trouble this week, B.
What's up, Josh? Let's get this done.
It might not even be close, bro.
I know. I'm telling you, the Bills, they gonna beat them by 2 scores.
I'm telling you, the Bengals gonna beat them by 2 scores.
Well, I love me some Joe Burrow, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Bengals in Cincinnati, the home team. But we're going to go ahead and slide our way to some Thursday night football, because there is a game on tonight, and it's the Tennessee Titans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have Will Levis and we have Kenny Pickett. Now, this kicks off week 9. The Titans will pay the Steelers a visit, so this game is in Pittsburgh. And Will Levis, he was one of our rookies of the week. He had 4 touchdown passes last week, led Tennessee to a win. We had Chris Johnson on the show yesterday, and he spoke favorably of Will Levis and said that he is the future of the Tennessee Titans. So, Brandon, I'm going to start with you. You're going to go Will Levis, a.k.a. Mayonnaise Man, or are you going to stick with the home team? Pittsburgh Steelers, Kenny Pickett, Mike Tomlin, everything that they got over there.
You said Brandon.
Marshall. I said home team.
There you go. You got to be clear.
I said, are you going to go with the home team? You're the only one here from Pittsburgh.
Okay. Just want to be clear there. You know what I'm saying?
That was a clear direction.
Just want to be clear there. I'm not taking either. The question is Will Levis or Kenny Pickett. I'm not taking either. You know, I got to see it. I'm picking the Steelers.
No, you got to pick a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. The Steelers
so
defense. You know what I'm saying? And everything around. Yeah, Kenny Pickett, and it's not even his fault. I do believe that they believe they have the guy. I do believe that this guy can play ball. We've seen it last year. It's like he's digressing. Did I say that right? Because you want to correct me. Okay. It's like he's digressing. Last year, he showed up well. Have we seen a game where it's like, oh, he is the guy? We haven't seen it, and I believe it starts with that offensive coordinator. You're not even getting your number one receiver going, who I say he's turned into my favorite receiver. He has the craziest and the best catch radius out of all receivers in the NFL right now. That's over, and I'm picking him over Justin Jefferson. Not the best receiver, but I'm picking him over Justin Jefferson, over D-Hop, over all those guys. With the balls in the air, I believe he'll make the freakiest catches. I think he takes the 50-50 ball to an 80-20 ball easier than anybody else. Where is he at? Why can't we get him going? So that's why I said the Steelers over, a quarterback's name. Steelers win this game.
Well, let me give you the money, the odds rather. Titans Steelers right now. The Steelers are a -3.5 point favorite. The over under is 37 points. The money line Steelers -152. The Titans +148. And the Titans right now are 4-3 against the spread. And the last 4 Steelers games have actually gone under the total. So Brandon, does that change? Brandon Flowers.
There you go.
Delray Rock. Does that change? Where you're going, or is it just confirm what you're already thinking?
It's so tough because I can't trust either of these teams, right?
Fair.
The Steelers, they have been playing okay this year. They haven't been playing great. They have little spurts where they look promising, and then they'll go back to Pickett as like being average, like just an average guy out there. He's not getting his number one receiver the ball. I'm not putting that much stock like CJ did yesterday in Levis because that's one game. Yeah. When you know how it is, when you don't got film on somebody, you like, we don't know how he gonna attack us. Let's make him beat us throwing the ball, and he did. But now that Pittsburgh can prepare for him, not that their defense playing ball this year at all. I mean, they haven't one of their off years this year. It's just I just don't trust Levis right now just to come out there in the whole game where it's like, yo, they're preparing for you to make plays now, right? They feel like you can make throws now. They're going to show you different looks. Now let's see what you can do. So it's hard because I don't know what to expect from any of these teams, but I will go with Pittsburgh because they're playing in Pittsburgh. I'm thinking Pickett just might have some type of game, I don't know.
You got to figure it out sometime,
I'm trying to figure
You got to figure it out.
You got to. And hopefully this is the game, but...
Yeah, the Steelers aren't that type of team that's going to sit there. Like, I don't see Mike Tomlin making any changes like what I said earlier with when I had the conversation with Lovie Smith. And Lovie, like, there's some guys just don't believe that's the move. So I don't see him making any moves at the offensive coordinator position, but I do see them internally doing everything possible to get this offense going. Because you got to look at Mike Tomlin, too. I said this, week 2, week 3, it was a total overreaction.
You don't do that ever.
And I'm like, okay, the first 4 weeks you can't overreact. And I was like, Coach Tomlin's on the hot seat. Coach Tomlin, this and that. And look what he's been doing. It's like he won't. He got 9 lives, bro. It's a beautiful thing. But we want to see a contender. I'm from Pittsburgh. That's where you laid me up. You said a home team. But like we expect championships, bro. That's what we want, and it hasn't been there in years, bro. And so they got to look at, like, man, defensively we're there. Yeah. Can we just get the running game going where it can open up the passing game? Can we just get some more out of the offense? And you never know what can happen. So
they do have to.
They got to figure it out.
They got to get more out of the secondary, I feel. But Levis haven't seen a T.J. Watt yet. I know this is going to be his first game starting. You played at home. You ain't have to worry about the silent count and they getting a good jump and this and that. You can check into whatever you want to check into. Like, nah, it's a different ball game. So
yeah.
We'll see what he's about.
Well, we shall see. Like I said, it's the Thursday night matchup. It kicks off week 9 of the NFL season. It goes down on Amazon Prime. So make sure if you're interested or you just want to watch some football, you check it out. We'll obviously be breaking it all down on our Monday recap show of everything NFL. But we're going to switch gears and talk some basketball because it is basketball season, in case you didn't know, with all the football talk and just everything football. It is basketball season. We are having some really dope NBA games to kick off the season early in the season, which I'm excited about. And one of those happened last night. As I mentioned at the top of the show, the Los Angeles Clippers and the Los Angeles Lakers face off in Battle LA, and it was one hell of a game. It went into overtime. And it helped the Lakers snap an 11-game losing streak to their in-city rivals. Yes, this is a real thing. Battle LA, the Lakers and the Clippers go at it, and the Lakers actually snapped an 11-game losing streak, like I said, against the Clippers. And LeBron James, 38-year-old LeBron James, went absolutely crazy. 35, 12, and 7 in 42 minutes. 14 points in the fourth and an OT. I mean, last night the Lakers proved that if they can go ahead and click on all cylinders like this, then they just may be the team to beat. But I think also, or one of the teams to beat in the West.
Sorry.
Let me clarify. That's what I meant to say. But outside of LeBron, I think that one of the really great signs of life, and of course, this is not that they can't be done, it's just how consistently it's done, is that Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell both had great games as well. So while LeBron went off, those guys, that big three, went ahead and helped him out as well. Now, one of the takeaways that I had from this game was that if you can go ahead and have Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell consistently take some of those minutes and some of those points that LeBron scored last night and deliver that on a nightly basis, this Lakers team is going to be very tough to beat, but that's going to be the biggest question mark. You're not going to get a 35, 12, and 7 game from LeBron every single night. He is almost 40 years old. Let's not get crazy. It's absolutely insane what he's doing, but that's not something you can go ahead and consistently expect. But if you can go ahead and just take some of that and disperse it between, like I said, D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Davis, that makes for a really good basketball team, but the biggest question is the consistency of those two guys, and we have seen time and time again that that is going to be their biggest hurdle because consistency they are not a fan of. I mean, I know you guys didn't watch the game, but hearing all the information and the highlights and whatever it is that you dove into, what do you make of this?
So we talked about this, a day or two ago, who do you trust more? And it's difficult. I lean towards the Clippers. But it's difficult because there's a lot of what ifs, right? Like Paul George, you know, I'm not one that's going to call him playoff P, right? But you got Paul George there, and then you have, I'm correct?
Playoff P is his nickname. Oh, you mean way off P?
Way off P,
yeah,
there we go.
That's what you don't want to call him, yeah.
Right, so you have that, and then you have Kawhi Leonard. Is he going to be available? Is he not going to be available? Russell Westbrook's a big question mark. James Harden's a big question mark. But then on the other end, it's the same thing. It's like D'Angelo Russell, you're a liability on the defensive side. Now, you say he spent all offseason working on this, right? So far, it's okay. It's better. And then offensively, like this dude, bro, they was benching him last year in the postseason because he couldn't get it done. He was so much of a liability. And then you have Anthony Davis. Like, we know this. Like, if you got Anthony Davis, and we keep talking about it, that, you know, availability is critical. If Anthony Davis is available and D'Angelo Russell can be that three that can give you 20, 25 when LeBron needs to chill or wants to chill, yeah, they're the team to beat.
It's not even
for sure.
It's not even
but that's too. It's the what ifs are too big.
It's not even AD's availability. It's availability and productivity.
Okay, there you go. That's good.
Even if he's available, there are times where he'll give us a 40-plus night, and then he gives us 6 points the next day, and then he'll give us 12, and then he'll give us 40 again. It's not even his availability. Availability is part of it. It's productivity and consistency in what he's delivering. And even during last night's game, I mean, before you had the numbers up, I believe he had 27 last night. But stats don't always tell the full story, and the full story is there were a lot of key moments in that game where he went missing. And that can't happen because LeBron's not always going to give you the stat line he gave you last night. They're going to rest him a lot of games because this is, again, somebody that you want to be healthy and injury-free and just fresh legs come April, come March, come May, come June if they get that far. So you have to play him smart, and in order to do that, you need everybody else to be consistent, productive, and that's the biggest question mark on this team.
You know what's crazy? Before the season opener, I said the Lakers, they got a chance. And everybody
Chance
looked
to do
at
what?
me to be a contender.
To go,
And
to
contend.
get to the playoffs?
No,
or to get to
be a contender in the West to win it. And you, Ashley, you looked at me like I was crazy.
I still think you're crazy.
What?
A contender?
Yes, they can be a contender, for sure. Braun, I said, when you have Braun, you got a chance.
You can't
he can
have
go
the
for 30.
Clippers and the Lakers as both contenders. Pick a side.
Well, I'm going with L.A.
Which one?
I will see.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So,
go ahead.
but no, with LeBron on your team, you always got a chance because he can give you 35, right? In the playoffs. If Anthony Davis comes and does Anthony Davis things, yeah, he went for 27. But if he gives you 30 also, Austin Reeves went for 15. That's what they're expecting out of him. Right? Now, D'Lo, he's giving you 27. Like, D'Lo, we need that. Even if you gave us 20, right? Cam Reddish, he gave you 8. But when he get comfortable in this, like, system, Cam can go for, what, 15 consistently?
Yeah, but
Don't
if your game plan is heavy on LeBron James giving you 30 plus a night, that's a terrible game plan. He's not.
No,
he's
that's just when he's
40 years
taking over.
old.
That's just when he's taking over. But you need Cam Reddish and those guys to be consistent. And then they got a guy who they haven't inserted that did his thing with the Miami Heat, Gabe Vincent. When Gabe Vincent was with the Heat, you like, yo, he giving us buckets. He ISOing, hitting tray balls.
He has his moments. He's a little streaky at times.
That's what you need. So if everybody give you that collectively, like just that kind of effort
need
and
consistency from Rui. You need consistency from Austin Reeves. I mean,
and Hashimura come back. Wait till Hashimura come back.
I don't know about that. First off,
you don't need
like
consistency
this is the
from
thing.
him?
When you don't watch the live broadcast and the live show, you miss the flow, right? And like those moments. So when you watch the playbacks, the 13, 14-minute playbacks, you just get the rebounds. This person was off. Like, you can see the storyline here. So you can even look at the box score and see this. Ash, I say that you don't need him consistently because, like, and I tried to do this last year, and I couldn't articulate myself, and it just set up my entire NBA season to be just terrible.
I know where he's going, and he's still wrong, but go ahead.
What am I about to say?
You're about to say you don't need it because if you have LeBron James, D'Angelo Russell, and Anthony Davis, that's all you need.
No, she knows.
That's not true.
No, hold on, but here's my thing.
But it's not true.
No, what I'm saying is because I know this debate.
We're going back to this.
Can
so
let me say, because I want to make sure. Oh, damn, slobbering. I want to make sure.
Bro. It's all good.
I want to make sure that the infrastructure is in place for the rest of the NBA season, okay? So, like, the infrastructure right now that I'm trying to build on is this. This is how I look at basketball. Now, there's so many other ways that we need to look at the game. It's no longer about defense, and analytics is showing that. You saw the Nuggets win it, and defensively, you can see they weren't a top defending team. I'm looking at the big three, is what Ashley said. It's like on any given night, what big three do you trust, right? Who can deliver? You have a big three that can give you 20, 25, 30. And so when you look at last night's game, it was a legendary game. You had Paul George, Kawhi Leonard both go 35 and 38. And then you had Russell Westbrook 24. And then you go to the Lakers. The Lakers had LeBron 35, then Anthony Davis 27, and then D'Angelo Russell 27. Like, I don't trust D'Angelo Russell to do that every single night. Like, I don't trust that. I don't even know if he's going to be on the field, on the court, because he's such a liability on the defensive side. So last night was a phenomenal game. I missed the flow because I didn't watch the live broadcast. But if I have to pick a team, I'm going with the Clippers. You
know why you're going with the Clippers? Can you just imagine when they insert James Harden?
Bruh.
And his points, his assists into that lineup?
I might convince myself to go from the Suns to picking the Clippers to winning in the West.
That's what
You both sound crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Kawhi giving you what he giving you. PG doing what he doing.
You both sound
Russ doing what he doing.
Right.
Put Harden 25 in there.
You know why
average.
I'm going to say that you sound crazy? First of all, can you read me Anthony Davis's stat line?
Right here. Anthony Davis, 48 minutes, 10 of 18. Nothing from three. 7 from 9 from the field. Okay.
Well, how many?
10 rebounds.
That's defense. Go ahead.
3 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks.
That's defense. Go ahead.
27 points.
Okay, here's my thing. I know that in the box score will show you, a lot of points were scored. Defense matters. Defense gives the other. You can't just score without defending.
Hold on.
You can't score without defending because all you're going to be in that case is a shootout. You have to get stops in order to bridge the gap. The Lakers were not playing great in the first half. They were losing. Defense kept them in this game so that their offense can go clicking.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Go ahead. My bad.
Defense travels,
Go ahead.
and defense is always your go-to when your offense isn't clicking. That's the whole saying behind defense creates offense. Now, with that said, you can't go ahead and expect LeBron James to perform at that level regardless of how you manage his minutes. He's going to go cold. He's going to be tired. He's going to be fatigued at some point at multiple points throughout the season. And I disagree with you that you don't need consistency from Hachimura. You don't need consistency from Austin Reeves. You 100% do because your big three is inconsistent.
No, but what I'm
your
saying,
bench is going to save you a lot of the times throughout the season. And if you don't have that, you're going to go ahead and feel that deficit against teams that are a lot deeper than the Lakers are.
Listen, when I talk about consistency, what I mean is I don't need you to give me 20, 25 if you're outside of my big three. I do need you when one of them are off to have a night, and that's hard to do
just
because
open shot.
Whether or not they have an off night or not, you need to consistently give me 10, 15.
It's hard when the offense ain't running through you, and you might not shoot the basketball for 2 games, 3 games. So it's hard, but I do need you to be on it, right? Like it's like what J.R. Smith had to do when they were in Cleveland. There was times where J.R. would give you 30, but there was times where J.R. give you 5.
But you need, as a person on the bench, you need to have a consistent number.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Whether that's 10, 15, you need to consistently be able to give me a certain amount of points each game, regardless of how well I'm doing, how well the other team is doing, how well your big three is doing. As a bench, you need to be reliable. And if that's 10 points a game, fine.
Okay,
but give me that every single night.
But we can take an hour discussing like how the bench and the role players need to show up. So I'm not disagreeing with you there. Now, you push back on me on defense. You said last night, you talk about defense. Ashley, there was no defense played last night. It was 130 to 125 points.
There was defense.
That's no defense.
Don't just look at the box score, Brandon.
No, what you mean?
You're talking about when you need a stop.
There's no
You
defense.
can't look at a box score to determine. I hate when people do this. You can't look at a box score to determine whether or not there was defense. Yes. First of all, the game went into overtime. That's number one.
It doesn't matter. But
you can't just look at a box score and say 125, 130, there was no defense. There was defense when there needed to be.
Let me give you more ammo to make me look silly try to make me look silly like you made me look last year. I promise you this is a new year, new season.
Let's go.
The Celtics last night. This is the new NBA.
That's a different game.
155
yes,
points?
That was all.
There ain't no defense in the
all
NBA.
Offense. This is not that game. There was defense
completely
in this game.
though. I'm talking about so now you have all the ammo. What I'm saying to you, Ashley, is defense. It's about offense. The Nuggets proved that last year.
It's not about just offense. The Nuggets did not prove that last.
They weren't a top. They weren't a top defending team. It was offense.
You cannot rely on your offense to win you basketball games solely because if you're playing a team that's just as offensively deep or gifted as you are going to be in a shootout. And if you are ever in a deficit, how the hell are you going to merge that deficit without getting stops?
Shoot.
You have to get stops.
Come on, KD.
Brandon,
come on, Devin Booker.
The saying is defense creates your offense, not offense creates your defense.
With y'all going back and forth, like y'all solidifying like a point that I made yesterday where I said the Clippers are going to be tough, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just say they stay healthy. They got the best wing defenders in the game. They got a scrappy Russell Westbrook. You still got P.J. Tucker, who's a defender coming off. Zubac is going to bang in the paint. And they all are guys also. You know how you say if the offense don't go through you, you get cold as role players?
Right.
All those boys can go get buckets on their own.
Right.
PG, Kawhi, Russ, James Harden, like they can get buckets on their own. So I know we're talking about the Lakers right now, but please do not sleep on these Clippers.
Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk real quick before
they might be the favorite.
Before the show ends, we're gonna talk Celtics and Bucks real quick. Now, the two top teams in the East could not have more different outcomes last night. The Celtics put up 155 points against the Pacers and remain unbeaten at 4-0. And on the other side of things, Dame and Giannis took an absolute beating in Toronto and fall now to 500, 2-2. The Bucks, a lot of people are wondering now with losing Drew Holiday, losing that defensive edge.
Here we go.
Defensive edge.
Okay.
While the offense got better, the defense has been struggling, and it's the complete opposite in Boston that seems to be clicking on all cylinders, offensively and defensively, making people.
Who wrote this?
This is off the top of my head. Making people wonder if the Bucks are going to be second fiddle to the Boston Celtics in the East, guys.
No, don't tell me about people. Sorry, this is AB.
This was.
I don't know. Maybe me and Ashley, we get more heat than basketball.
This was questioned after both these teams played on
but I
SportsCenter.
want to know what you feel. I don't care about these people.
I already told you guys that I'm leaning towards Boston.
So you think the Bucks, they're not going to be contenders? They have no chance because they don't have defense?
Not what I said.
Sorry,
what I said was if I had to pick a team in the East, I was going with Boston. I think they're better. I think while offensively you can go ahead and make comparisons between the two, them acquiring Drew Holiday makes them a much better defensive team than the Milwaukee Bucks, who got worse defensively losing him. I said that from the beginning.
I just think it was an easier fit for Boston, right? They lost Smart. He was a defender. They brought in Holiday. Like, it fits what they're doing,
and
right?
And the Pacers did not have Halliburton. That's an important part to go ahead. That's a lot of scoring that's left on the floor. So.
Yeah, Milwaukee going to be fine. They still the favorites. They just trying to figure it out. They trying to figure out who's going to be more ball dominant. It's just they got stars. Like, they adding a bona fide superstar to their lineup. So they just trying to figure it out right now. They'll be fine.
Again, this is my thing. Is like the first thing I'm doing after each game, I'm going to the box score and I'm going to like the top 3 scorers. All right, and then all you got to do is look at it. I'm telling you, let's build a case study on it. All right, the top 3, what did they do offensively compared to the top 3, what they did offensively against the opponent? You look at this game last night, the Bucks versus Toronto. Giannis 16 points, Chris Middleton 11 points. Dame Lillard, 15 points. They took a night off. But we want to sit here and talk, do you think that's going to be...
Nobody said that the Bucks are going to be a bad team. I think they're going to be either 1 or 2 when it's all said and done. I told you, though, that I am leaning towards Boston. I think that from every aspect of the game, they're more complete. Defensively, offensively,
and potentially even coaching.
And maybe. So, it depends on how you feel, what you value in a coach. But I just think that when it comes... And also, they have chemistry on their side. They have familiarity on their side. That tandem of Tatum and JB, they've played with each other their entire career. They know each other's ins and outs. I just think that when it comes to who's going to be the last man standing, last team standing, right now, currently, I lean towards Boston. It could change.
But let's be clear,
Boston is my pick.
And let's be clear. If I had to pick a team, too, I would pick the Celtics. But, I was debating more defensive offense, what philosophy, what you lean towards more. But the question against these two, when you look at these two teams in this matchup, right, especially when you get, post-March and you get into April, right, like you got to ask, the way I look at it is, how are those two going to show up? So do you think those two are going to show up more consistently than those two?
But I think also it's not just about those two anymore. Now you have Porzingis who can give you buckets. You have Drew Holiday who's on your defensive end. I mean, I'm not sleeping on Milwaukee, but I just think that Boston has always been a very well-oiled machine, and they just got better.
Right.
And I just think that as of right now, if I had to pick a favorite, it's only November 2nd. So this could change next month, the month after. Boston, for me, I have a hard time seeing how anybody in the East can beat this team in a 7-game series right now. That's just how I feel.
Right, and there's so much ball I know we got to move on. There's so much ball to be played, and it's going to be fun to see how these teams, gel together and see what happens in Philly. Even in Philly, right, with Maxey, you're high on him and what they're doing. See what happens in L.A. with the Clippers, even the Lakers. We just talked about them. Even the Bucks, like Chris Middleton, he didn't play well last year. He was banged up last year, right?
He still got to get back to it.
Yeah, but, bro, he's an all-star. Do we forget that he made the all-star team? It's so funny. He looked like he's the type of dude when you go in the gym, it's like, yo, he probably got some game he can shoot, but he ain't like that, ain't paying attention. But then he come out and cook you 25, right? So, if we put the 3 up there, it's like, boom, Dame, you got the freak, and then you got Chris Middleton, then you put Chris Porzingis up there. It's
before we go, B-Flow, which big 3 are you taking? Tatum, Brown, Holiday, or Dame, Giannis, Middleton?
Dame, Giannis, Middleton.
Okay.
Giannis can't be stopped. Dame can't be stopped. Only Tatum can be stopped, I feel. That's how it goes. I mean,
keep going. I'm with you. I'm with you. Don't look at her face. Don't feel her energy right now.
Jaylen Brown can be stopped.
Ooh,
right?
Time out.
Yeah.
Let me end the audio portion so we can wrap up this combo, put a bow on it, because Andrew's gonna yell at me. No, we're not gonna end it because I'm not gonna cut his point off midpoint. But thank you everybody for listening to Sirius XM Faction Talk 103. This has been Paper Route. If you're curious on all the craziness that goes on behind the scenes, make sure you check us out on the I Am Athlete YouTube page and all of our social media channels. I'm Ashley Nicole Moss. This is Brandon Flowers. This is Brandon Marshall. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you. All right, B-Flow, the floor is yours. Continue.
Yeah, let me get back to it.
Get back in your bag.
Jaylen Brown
the
can
wrong
be stopped.
bag,
We've seen this. We've seen Jaylen. What is Jaylen Brown doing? He needs to be that Robin to the Batman. Well, yeah, Robin to Batman, right? Batman to Robin.
Didn't Giannis have 16 points last night?
We're talking about playoffs. We're talking about when everybody expected to play big.
You sat here and said that Giannis can't be stopped. He had 16 points last night.
This was playoff talk. We're talking about, you said a 7-game series.
You said Giannis can't be stopped. He had 16 points last night. Who's doing with that, Giannis or Toronto?
No, we're talking about a 7-game series.
But here's how I'm thinking about that. Remember, no, teams can be penalized now for what? What is it called?
Load management.
Load management.
Load management.
Load management.
You okay?
So they wasn't playing last night. Come on, you mean to tell me all three of them, none of them had a game?
So none of them decided.
They was chilling.
They just collectively decided they weren't going to play in Toronto. That's why. They only had 16 points.
Let me check the minutes.
Listen, we're going in a 7-game series. We're talking 7-game series right now. You know, if Giannis want to go, he's more deadly than LeBron. He's the best player in the league when he gets to playoff time. We know when Dame get cooking, like, it's no stopping him. It's never no, like, oh, Dame off, they not going to be right. Middleton, yeah, he'll give you what you give him, right? He's going to be the Drew Holiday, so they cancel each other out. But Jaylen Brown is not going to give you what that number 2 in Milwaukee will give you. Whoever the number 2 is in Milwaukee, Jaylen Brown is not going to give you that.
Do you remember what happened to Giannis and the Bucks last playoffs?
They were terrible.
But when
Giannis was hurt.
Yeah, we can't even count that.
Do you remember what happened the year before that?
Tell me.
They won it.
Yeah,
it was the year before that they won it, wasn't it?
No, last year was the Nuggets.
Last year was the Nuggets. The year before that wasn't.
Was it Warriors and then the Bucks?
Or maybe I'm getting my years confused. Maybe. What was the year? They did 2-peat.
No.
They only won once.
Right, but was it Bucks, Warriors, Nuggets, or was it Warriors?
I think it was Warriors, Bucks, Nuggets.
Warriors, Bucks, Nuggets.
I think so.
No, it was Bucks, Warriors, Nuggets.
Bucks, Warriors, Nuggets, right?
Yeah.
They won 2021. The Bucks.
Mm-hmm. So what are you saying? What happened when? So basically, what are you saying the last 2 years? So last year,
2022, they were stopped.
He was on one leg.
2022, they were on.
No, I'm saying last year.
Yes,
yeah,
but so 2022, they didn't win. They got stopped.
I'm like my recall there.
I'm talking about just running through.
It was Bucks, Warriors, Nuggets. The Nuggets.
I know. So okay, that's
right. So the year the Warriors won, they were.
This is last year.
The Bucks. No, last year was the Nuggets.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
The year before that
was the Warriors.
The Bucks were stopped. They didn't make a run. So that's what I'm saying. You say that he can't be stopped in the playoffs. But they were stopped in the playoffs.
Giannis got off. He just didn't have enough help.
That's like saying like Tom Brady supposed to win when Tom Brady was playing like he's supposed to win every Super Bowl. Like
what you're saying is Brian got stopped in the playoffs, but he averaged 35 to 40.
The Celtics stopped them in 2022. It was a 7-game series, and the Celtics stopped the Bucks from advancing. Like, I don't understand why we're acting like it's like a far-fetched idea that Giannis and the Bucks can be stopped. It's happened before.
But I can't even recall. But since they won, and listen, you can correct me here. I know about last year, but the Greek. So you had 1 year or 2 years where Greek banged up, and then you have a year where Chris Middleton's banged up. So when you say stop, that's why we gotta, you gotta have the recall to be able to have these conversations.
Specifically about Giannis and said, who's going to stop Giannis?
She has the information. Here's the thing, B. She has the information. She knows right now. She knows the last 3 years. This guy was hurt. She knows the why behind it. There's a why behind it. Don't act like they weren't.
He said specifically, Giannis cannot be stopped. And I gave you a 7-game series, which the team that we're literally speaking about stop
See, I'm
them
speaking
from
singular.
advancing.
I'm talking about Giannis himself.
Giannis
he can
is
take
never,
over a game.
Giannis is never going
He
to be
can-
playing 1-on-5. Like, it's
But
always
what
going
I'm
to be
saying
Giannis and
is,
the Bucks.
his number 2 is always banged up. His number 2 is always either his number 2 was hurt or Giannis was hurt. He never had. When it was him and Middleton cooking, they won it. Then the next year, Giannis was hurt. Next year, Middleton hurt, or vice versa. Now that he got Dame,
thank you.
And now that it's Middleton coming back healthy, and it's Giannis, I'm telling you, they gonna run through it.
This is my last point here. Okay, this is why I'm getting excited about NBA. I really am. I'm so petty. All right, so Ashley, Giannis was stopped, right?
Mm-hmm. By
who
the
was
Boston
on that
Celtics.
team? Who was on that team? Was Drew Holiday on that team?
Yes.
He was on that team. But so he couldn't stop them.
Who's
Your
that?
2, Brown and Tatum.
Boston?
Right.
Okay.
But he's on that team, but so he gives them the edge? So he gives them the edge now because now...
What is it that you're saying?
The guy that couldn't produce to get them past Boston, that didn't give Giannis what he needed.
Drew Holiday didn't have to be a scorer. Drew Holiday wasn't brought in to
So you think Drew Holiday is going to stop Dame Lillard or Chris Middleton
Drew
or
Holiday
the Freak?
was
which
not
is even a
brought
matchup.
in to give them 20 points a game. His edge is defense. He provided
But
that.
he couldn't stop Tatum and Brown.
Timeout. He provided that in the game, in the series against Boston. He defensively was in the game. That is his bread and butter. That's never been an issue with Drew Holiday.
But didn't Tatum, wasn't he cooking? Wasn't Jaylen Brown cooking during that series? He ain't stopped him.
What I'm saying is that there's one guy on defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't rely on one guy to guard 5 people. That's not how that works. What I'm saying is that Drew Holiday and his defensive edge is now in Boston. He said verbatim, Giannis can't be stopped. I gave you an example of the Boston Celtics literally stopping Giannis and the Bucks from advancing. And now all of a sudden, that doesn't count. Why doesn't that count?
So here's what I want to do for you, B. Bro, we got to be super on it because her wordplay and how she try to mix things up, we got to be on it.
I see it now. I'm feeling it now.
Yeah.
I can't wait next time to cover everything I need. All my ammo.
You got to come with a whole notebook. You got to know the last 3 years. Damn, what happened?
Yeah.
I don't know 3 years ago.
I know now.
But you got to be ready because she's going to bring it all up.
I'm not word playing anything. I'm direct quoting him.
I can't wait. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, my God.
Let's go.
All right.
Me and the Derry Rocks going to be ready.
Where's Stack at? Because I need backup. It's 2 against 1. I need a third. I need another person in here.
They're actually in Texas. I FaceTimed today. He's in Texas driving around doing all the smoke. He said to tell you guys hello.
Okay. Well, listen.
Yeah, she loves when Stack's on the show.
I love Stack. That's my big bro. Because it's 2 NBA people versus NFL people. Because right now I have a headache. Listen, your Nets got a win last night.
I'm going to be honest. I ain't even watch it. At the show's over. I can't wait.
They did. They came back. Miami blew a 16-point lead last night.
First. I missed it. I wanted to take my son to the Heat game. They were just here.
There were no more courtside tickets. I did ask, but it was.
Yeah, that's the
time out. I did ask. There were no more, but then I turned on the game and there were a lot of empty seats. So I'm just confused on maybe they were sold and people decided not to show up. I don't know.
Y'all got to go courtside every time you go.
I'm bougie, bro.
I've never sat courtside.
B, yes.
I've never sat courtside. That's on my list, though.
B, yes.
I've only sat, the closest I've sat is like 3rd row.
B, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about being on that wood. The Garden gave me that experience when I was playing for the Jets, and I go to the Garden. What'd I say? They said it's a pop. When I put my foot on the wood.
No, you said something about being on that wood.
You said something about being on that wood.
I wish it was mic'd up. But
stupid.
But no, bro, it's I'll save up. I can't go sit in. We talked about this last year. I can't go sit in the 5th, 6th row in a basketball game.
That's insane.
Why? I've sat in the 3rd row. You're close.
I sat on the wood before, but it's cool, bro. You can go sit with everybody else.
What did Kevin Hart say? You know what Kevin Hart said? One of my best friends said. Listen, everybody got shit. When we friends and we family, my bullshit is your bullshit. So this is my bullshit. Let me have my bullshit when it comes to going to basketball games.
He's talking about only sitting on the wood, but this is not surprising because you'll see Super Bowl. This is the same man who wouldn't use the media entrance. He had to go through the VIP entrance to get to the convention center. So I'm not surprised by this at all.
You ain't starting. Your lighting looks really weak. We're about to end the show here, but if you go back to the singer, your lighting looks good today. Look at Ashley's skin glowing.
My skin's always glowing. Although You did get a compliment from Christy O. She said your skin was glowing. Shout out
really?
to your skincare routine.
Well, shout out to Brandstore Studio and the team for making the lighting. The lighting is everything. Yeah, look, I'm popping when the team popping. Yeah, boy. Yoga, meditation.
Your skin
boy.
looks popping too, Beefo. We're not gonna keep you out of it. Listen, thank you. Thank you. Ray, he's like, whatever. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week on Paper Route. We will be back next week on Monday with an all NFL show recapping Week 9, or most of Week 9. As you know, Monday Night Football kicks off that day as well. So we enjoy you guys for joining us. Thank you so much listening on Sirius XM Faction Talk 103 as well. And we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Nagin gonna say,